I'm next to Anastasia, and actually my hands are on Kelsey, and what we're doing is a video on all. It's actually making a documentary. Me and Kelsey, and what we're going to do is we're looking for people who had experience with autism, good or bad, and right now we're next to Anastasia, who I met like 7 years ago. I saw her at a distance, and we never really met. Anyway, she's here now next to me in my bedroom. I gotta get that in. I'm so bad. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I have two 6-year-old daughters, and they've never been vaccinated. And I made that choice when I was pregnant with them because I found out how many vaccinations they were giving children. It was like 50 vaccinations.
That's right, 50 vaccinations. And
they wanted to inject my brand new infant baby with hepatitis on the first day that they were born. And
which contains mercury, by the way.
Yeah, and I just, I'd read some things about autism, and I was scared of autism first and foremost. But then when I really started to read about it, I read about all the other diseases that you can be giving your children, like allergies, autoimmune disorders, asthma, brain disorders, and that, like the chickenpox, varicella vaccination, it still gives you the disease, but it masks all the symptoms. So your skin would naturally, like, when you have chickenpox, your skin is trying to get the toxins and the viruses out of your body. But the worst case is encephalitis if you have chickenpox. And so instead of, while masking the symptoms, the vaccination actually goes right to the worst symptom, which is encephalitis of the brain, I read about, which is causing brain damage.
Actually, we had a girl yesterday, that's exactly what happened to her. She got a vaccination shot. 2 days later, she had brain cancer.
Yeah, and this stuff is storing in our bodies, and the more I read about, what it could turn into if it's stuck in there and it can't get out of your body. I mean, that's tumors and cancers. So.
And did you have any fear of not vaccinating your children?
Absolutely, 100%. I was terrified, but I didn't even feel like I had a choice. But I just felt so strongly about it. I made the choice, and fortunately my partner was confident enough to make the choice with me. But right now we're in a situation we're trying to get them into kindergarten, and the government uses the schools to enforce the vaccinations.
Right.
And so now we have to reconsider, because in New York State there's no philosophical exemption. There's only a religious or a medical exemption. You can't get a medical exemption. You have to get a religious exemption, and you have to think long and hard about your value, what you believe, and your beliefs in God, and then they can do this thing called sincerity testing if they don't like your letter, where they can sit you down and question you. And I mean, my letter is honest. I don't go to church, but I believe in God, and I believe that my children were born pure in this world, and that I'm not going to take diseased animal. I wouldn't personally do it myself. I wouldn't take animals, inject them with disease, make them sick, and then take their blood and then put it in a vial and inject it in myself or my enemy. I wouldn't do that to anybody, so I wouldn't want a doctor to do that to my child, even if it's in a sterile-looking syringe.
But do you think that is good enough? If you say, from my experience, I know of a lady who claimed non-religious exemption, and yet because she was non-religious, she was forced to get her child vaccinated, and not only that, they were almost ready to take the children away.
Yeah, that's what they do now. Like there's also stories about mothers who don't want to give their children chemotherapy, and they call CPS on them.
Right.
So no, it's not good enough. The government, vaccinations are the only product that you are forced to buy. Consumers are forced to buy. By law, we have to purchase vaccinations.
Wow, and they can't get sued.
And we get in trouble for not buying this product. It's a product.
Wow,
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So what could you recommend to other mothers, maybe after you've gone through this experience, to someone who's maybe expecting?
Well, one, the experience will never be over because if I move, I'm going to be faced with this problem for the rest of, we're going to have to deal with this for the rest of our lives. It doesn't go away.
Wow.
Find groups. The Center for Informed Choice in New York State is one group that's helpful. Just know that you have a choice and do research and don't just listen to the media and the news. Like, look into it and talk to people. But it's also scary because you can't talk to people because it's so controversial. People don't know enough about it, and people are that's the other thing is doctors are so certain and people are so certain that these vaccinations work, but everything else is inconclusive. The autoimmune disorders, the reason why kids have asthma, the reasons why kids are having brain damage, the reason why kids have autism, everything else is inconclusive, but we're 100% certain that these vaccinations are curing diseases.
You're at page 11. Page 11 basically says there's a medical group in Chicago, Illinois that do not give vaccines. They do it 35,000 kids. Guess what happened to every single kid? Not one had autism. Good. Good. This book is by called Making an Informed Decision. Our movie's kind of dedicated to that. Me and Kelsey are making a movie to make more people aware, not to at least give people an option. There's two sides. One side, two sides. Good. Can we read that?
Sure. Where is it?
Right here.
Since 1973, our medical practice, Home First Health Services, has cared for more than 35,000 children who were minimally vaccinated or not vaccinated at all. A few years ago, a well-known doctor visited me to do a study on autism in unvaccinated populations. This was the first time that I really looked at the figures, and I was astounded. I realized that we didn't have any cases of autism.
Not one.
In our unvaccinated
that
population.
Means not one by medically supervised. And according to this book, and I'll probably do this over and over, which basically says, page 251, the chance of getting autism, according to CDC, is what? You read here.
These statistics were released in 2012 by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are terrifying. If our current growth curves hold steady, autistic children will soon outnumber healthy children. Unless something is done to reverse this insidious trend, virtually all male children will be diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder by 2032, followed by all girls in 2041.
This is pretty heavy-duty stuff.
This is insane.
It is insane, and no one out there saying anything.
Everyone's scared.
Everyone's scared.
Because we're...
Except for me and Kelsey! You never know, but we're going to say everyone has the right to make the decision. We're just giving the information. Anyway, this is live from Arnold's room. Bye!